The laughter in the room felt wrong from the very beginning, too loud and careless, as if it was meant to drown out something important, something fragile. My son sat quietly near the table while colorful wrapping paper covered the floor. But instead of joy, there was tension hanging in the air. One gift slipped from my sister's hands and cracked, and people laughed. Another toy broke, and the laughter grew louder. By the time the third gift shattered, it was no longer an accident. It was entertainment for everyone watching. My sister kept apologizing with a smile that never reached her eyes, brushing it off as clumsiness while others joined her, telling my son not to be dramatic, reminding him that toys could be replaced. But what they didn't understand was that those gifts were never just toys. They were proof that he was loved, and seeing them destroyed while people laughed taught him a lesson no child should have to learn so early. I stayed quiet, not because I was weak, but because anger wasn't going to fix what had already been broken. My son didn't cry, and that silence hurt more than tears ever could. The party continued as if nothing had happened. Cake was served, photos were taken, and my sister played the role of a caring aunt perfectly, while everyone comforted her instead of the child sitting silently in the corner. Only one person didn't join the laughter, my father, who sat quietly watching everything unfold, his eyes following my sister, then my son, then me. That night, after the guests left and the house finally went quiet, I sat beside my son as he slept, holding on to the only unbroken toy, and I made a promise to myself without saying a word. I wouldn't shout, I wouldn't fight, and I wouldn't demand apologies that meant nothing. I would wait. Over the next few days, my sister acted normal, joking about the incident and calling it harmless fun, telling me children needed to toughen up. I agreed calmly, and that confused her. Slowly, without accusing her directly, I allowed the truth to surface on its own. At family gatherings, when she bragged about how perfect and caring she was, I mentioned accidents casually, how often they seemed to happen around her, especially when children were involved. I never raised my voice, I never argued. I simply stayed calm while others started noticing patterns they had ignored before. My father remained silent until one evening when my sister joked about the birthday again. And that's when he stood up, removed his wedding ring, placed it on the table, and spoke only 4 words. The room went silent, and in that moment, everything changed because sometimes revenge doesn't come through anger, it comes through truth finally being seen. If you enjoy emotional real-life style stories with deep twists and powerful lessons, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. After that night, the atmosphere around my sister shifted completely. Conversations stopped when she entered the room, laughter faded, and the same people who once defended her now watched her carefully. She noticed the change quickly and confronted me, accusing me of turning everyone against her. But I listened quietly until she finished and told her something simple, that I had never said anything that wasn't already true. That hurt her more than shouting ever could. She tried to apologize later, not to my son, but to me, and I could tell it wasn't about regret, it was about saving her image. I thanked her politely and told her forgiveness wasn't something I could give alone. One night, my son asked me why people laugh when someone is sad, and I told him the truth in the gentlest way possible. That some people laugh because they don't understand kindness, and others laugh because they think being cruel makes them powerful. I promised him that none of that would ever make him small. Over time, my sister stopped attending family gatherings, not because she was forced to, but because she couldn't stand being seen without the protection of excuses. My father never repeated the 4 words he said that night, but he didn't need to, because the message was already clear. Respect is not optional, even within family. My son grew more confident, not because the world became kinder, but because he learned that silence, patience, and truth can be stronger than anger. In the end, my revenge wasn't loud or violent. It wasn't about humiliation or punishment. It was about making sure the person who tried to hurt my child never got the comfort of pretending it never mattered. Because some lessons don't need shouting, they just need time.